So I lost 2 Bitcoin. How the heck did this happen? What did I learn from this? How will I make sure it doesn't happen again? And what can you learn from this situation that you don't have to experience yourself? And I hope you never do. I hope you are all stacking Bitcoin and never losing it in the way I did. I like to say that I've been very smart about everything I do. I had a moment of stupidity, and I'll talk about that. So, backing up, I'll talk about my introduction into Bitcoin. So in 2013, I was newly married, we had a baby, and I was doing video production. We were filming a commercial. I finished a commercial. It was about, I made about $4,000, and the company offered to pay me $4,000 in Bitcoin at the time, 2013-ish, I think. And, you know, I turned it down because I needed to, I was fully freelance. That was my only work. And I just needed the money. And I don't beat myself up for that. That's fine. I think not knowing what the future held, which was everyone, no one knew what the future held. I think the majority of people would have made that decision. And that's fine. But Bitcoin has always been on my mind since then. Come 2020, stupidity is taking over the world. And we just bought a home. And I wanted to pay off the home as fast as possible, but I didn't know how to do that. The stimulus check started. The stimulus check started to come, and I was totally against the stimulus checks. I was not going to spend them, but what I did feel like I needed to do with them was to lock them into Bitcoin. And so I did that. And also in 2020, I came to a goal. And my goal was that I was going to pay off our entire mortgage of, at the time, $240,000 by the end of 2024. And it was Bitcoin that was going to help me do that. That was my decision. And so I put all of our stimulus checks in. And it was quite a bit. It was crazy. Like, we had 5 kids then. That was a lot of stimulus checks. We then, I started donating plasma and doing all these things just to stack as much Bitcoin as possible. And to be clear, I wasn't making more than $70,000, for 5 kids and a wife, homeschooling, all these things. That's a huge commitment, and we didn't have really any spare money, so I was taking not interest, but I was taking the money that we were earning from reward credit cards. We were staying under budget. We didn't have a lot to spare, but we were taking the money that we were earning on rewards, putting it towards Bitcoin. Then I was donating plasma, putting it into Bitcoin. Anything extra I would get, we'd put into Bitcoin. Then I got crazy, because as many will understand, once you start studying Bitcoin and understanding Bitcoin, you just need to be part of everything. So I started understanding and learning about mining, and I wanted to start a mining farm. So I took 3 0% interest-free credit cards. They had an intro rate for 21 months or whatever. Both my wife and I got a bunch of these credit cards, as much as we could, and we bought as many Bitcoin miners as we could. And I found a place to put them, and we started Bitcoin mining in the background. And the logic here was that if we don't spend the Bitcoin by the time the loans come due, we can liquidate what's due, and we have what's left over, and it would have been significant. So that was the risk that we were taking. I wouldn't recommend this exact risk to everyone, unless you really do want to risk losing it all. And we did, and we actually lost it all. So, but what did we learn? Technically, on a technical level, the price this morning was, and I don't check the price every day. It's just not something that I do. I used to early on, now I don't. And that's something that you getting into Bitcoin now, you may check the price every day. 4 years down the road, you're not going to be checking it every day. If you stick into it, it's just not something you're interested in, because you're just stacking and stacking and stacking. You don't care. But anyways, did the strategy work? Technically, yes. But I lost the Bitcoin, so we got to get into that. So, about a year after the FTX collapse, and I didn't have any exposure to FTX, and I'm grateful for that. But a year after that, I was looking for ways to maximize profit from the mining rigs, because that's what you do. Because you're looking at every penny, every fraction of a penny when you're mining. It's just something you do because it matters. So I started researching ways to see if we could find and earn yield on just sitting Bitcoin. And this is where I started getting into way too high of risk. And it's crazy because me going into debt, buying miners, now feels a million times more risky than this one simple decision that I made, which was trying to find yield on my Bitcoin. I found one, and I found one that checked all the check boxes for me. They didn't deal. They didn't have their own coin. They only dealt in Bitcoin. They mentioned they were based out of Singapore. For some reason, that was a checklist item for me at the time. Just a bunch of stupid things that I felt safe with. Anyways, I threw 100% of my Bitcoin from my wallet, from my hardware wallet, into this exchange. And it started earning, 1 to 2% yield, maybe 3%, just sitting in that wallet. And that was bringing in $300 or $400, maybe $500 extra per month, which was huge. And the goal was just to stack. Then the day came when I passed and I had 2 Bitcoin in my wallet. 2 Bitcoin. And the day after that happened, I get an email from the exchange saying that they have discontinued withdrawals until further notice, which is basically saying there's no money in there anymore. It's gone. So it was gone, just like that. The day we hit 2 Bitcoin, we were so excited. The day after, it was devastating. The whole family was devastated. And it's dumb that through all this high risk that we've been doing, the highest risk that we took was one of the easiest stupid mistakes possible, which is to trust someone else with your keys. Well, basically handing over the keys. And I did that. And my family is suffering for that. So where does that bring us now? Well, real quick, we did still have that debt on the miners. We were putting 100% of the earnings from the miners into this wallet that was earning yield, and everything was gone. We had nothing to pay off that debt. So not only did we lose the money that we put in, we were also in debt. So it was a big deal. It was a really big deal. So moving forward, the goal is to get our two Bitcoin back, not from that exchange because I think it's gone, but we've got to build it back. Someone in South Korea has my Bitcoin now. They're building a home with it, but and I don't know, maybe apparently there's people being arrested and stuff like that. But I just can't put hope into that anymore. I have to just move forward. And I would hope that if you were in the same situation, you can move forward too. That's just what you have to do. And so our goal now as a family is to grind again. And by the year 2028, we pay off our home with Bitcoin. And maybe we don't pay off the home. Maybe we still just hold the money, but we have more equity in Bitcoin than we do of our home. Obviously, a home can still be burnt down and you can lose our investment there. But anyways, that said, we're on this journey. And I am so happy for you to be on this journey with us. If you're watching this far, leave a like and comment. I want to know your guys's your experiences, what your goals are, what your Bitcoin goals and dreams are. What do you believe Bitcoin will do for you in the future? Leave that comment below. And I have more of my story to share for another time. See you guys.